Hey there, Saki here from sakitech, and in today's video I will share 25 plus tips and tricks for your Google Pixel or Pixel XL smartphone. Not all of these tips are Google Pixel exclusive tips and may apply to some older Nexus devices. But regardless, if you have a Pixel smartphone, you need to know all these tips and tricks to master your device that you paid a lot of money for. In addition to these 25 plus tips and tricks, I also want you to watch 10 more amazing tips and tricks for the Google Pixel or Pixel XL, for which I will leave a link in the description below. That's another video with 10 more tips and tricks for the Pixel. Now, you can watch that video before this video or you can watch it after this video. It's up to you. Equipped with those 10 tips and these 25 plus tips, you will become a master of Pixel. So let's dive in. Alright, so the first thing I want to show you guys has to do with the screen lock message. So when your screen is off and when you turn it on, what you can do if you want is you can add a custom message right underneath that time and date. As you can see, mine says sakitech. So let me just log into the device and show you how to add that to your phone just for customization purposes. All you have to do is go into the settings, go to security, which is right over here, and then simply tap the settings icon that says screen lock right over here. So tap the settings icon, it brings a sub menu. At the bottom it says lock screen message. If you tap this, you can customize this message as you please. You can even add a little quote. For example, let's just add to this is, let's fix that, click save, go back home, turn the device off, on. As you can see, now we have a little quote right underneath your time and your date, which is absolutely fantastic. Now let's go back into that security screen. I want to show you one more thing, and this has to do with securing your device properly so nobody has access to it. So go to settings, tap on security, and again click this settings icon, and by default this thing is disabled and this might have 1 minute, 30 seconds or 2 minutes. You can change that. So what this does is, if I lock my phone right now, even though I have a PIN number, it's not going to lock the phone instantly. There's going to be a lag of a minute. So let's power the phone off, power the phone on, and as you can see, the phone was not locked using the power button, which is unacceptable because if I lock my phone and if I walk away, then somebody can grab that phone within that minute window and unlock and access full functionality of my phone. So what you want to make sure is you want to go to the settings, you want to go into that security, which is right over here, tap this settings icon, and make sure power button instantly locks is enabled, and even set this one, the automatically lock, to immediately. All right, so this makes sure that whenever you turn off your phone is actually locked. So let's say I turn the phone off, I walk away, somebody comes in, they try to swipe up, and now it's actually locked because it was set to be locked. Now this next tip is something new with the Google Pixel. Basically what you can do is you can long press on most of the icons that come pre-installed, and it's going to allow you to bring up a menu, which makes these things more interactable. So if I press and hold or long press on the Play Store icon over here, it's going to bring up a menu. It's going to allow me to go to the My Apps. You can do the same thing with the Google Mail, so you can compose a message with Gmail. Text message, you can actually have a conversation, create a new conversation, or continue a conversation you are already having with somebody and stuff like that. With the camera, if you tap and hold, you can either take a selfie or take a video. It's going to take you to that mode so you can start recording. So if I tap take video, it takes me into the video mode immediately. As opposed to me pressing the icon and swiping over to video, I can simply long press it, tap on video, and boom, ready to go. The next thing I want to talk about has to do with messaging and notifications. So let me send myself a message really quick using another phone. And as you can see, there's going to be a small pop-up on the top. With this pop-up, I can tap reply, and I can reply to this message directly from here. So I can click hi, and then I can send it, and then that message goes right to the other person. Now the other thing I can do is, let's say somebody wants to continue messaging me. Let's say they say, what's up? Let me send that to myself. So there's the message, and I can tap this arrow over here, which is going to actually expand the full conversation, and you can fill the screen with that so you can see what's going on in the conversation before you can reply, just in case you forgot the context. But if I can tap this again, it goes up, Tap that arrow again, it goes down. And the same thing applies if I access this message from the notifications panel. So if I pull the panel down, as you can see, I have the full conversation over here, but I can actually collapse it if I want to, or I can expand it, and of course I can respond from here. I can say nothing, send that reply, and you will see that conversation right over here. Next thing I want to talk about is the quick toggles that reside in the notifications panel. So if you pull one time, you can get the access to the quick toggles. These are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quick toggles. Now if you pull this down, you get access to full toggles, and you can also swipe over and there's even more toggles over here. Now what I want to show you guys is these first 6 toggles right over here, the Wi-Fi, the Verizon wireless, the battery, the alarms, flashlight, and portrait are the same toggles that show up here in that same order. So if you were to rearrange this, which I'm going to show you how to do, those will also show up on the top here. So let's click this edit icon right here, and what you can do is you can drag and drop things, and you can push them around, and you can rearrange them as you please based on your priorities. Additionally, if there's something you do not need, you can grab that guy and you can drag over here to remove it. And again, down here, if there's something you do need, you can grab that and you can drag to the top to put it into your active quick toggles. But again, if I go back out here and if I collapse the toggles menu, you'll see that do not disturb is now over here and Wi-Fi is in second position, which is in sync with the same order when you see in the fully expanded mode. Now Google Pixel has introduced a new mode. It's called the Nightlight mode. So basically what that does is you can access it 2 ways. You can access it from your notifications panel. So if I expand this, you'll see it somewhere over here. If I scroll over, you'll see the Nightlight mode. But let's go into the actual settings and access it from there. So go to settings, go to bright display, and then over here it says Nightlight. Tap on it, and from here you can enable Nightlight. And that, as you can see, changes the red tone of your screen. So this is only designed for night. What it's going to do is it's going to make it easy for you to look at the screen at nighttime, so this white brightness doesn't put too much pressure on your eyes. If you enable this like this, that's going to put less pressure on your eyes. It is a warmer tone and it's great for night. And like I said, if you go over here, you can simply tap this icon and that enables Nightlight automatically. And of course, one more thing I want to talk about in relation to security is if you go into the settings and if you go into the security, I just want to make sure that you guys actually disable this option. If you go down here, it says make passwords visible. Make sure you disable this because when you type a password in this scenario, nobody else can see what you're typing, just in case they're staring at your screen. If you say make passwords visible, you'll see the password in the password field, which could give away your password and compromise your security. The next thing I want to talk about is called the Ambient Display. So let's say I get a notification. What happens is my phone will wake up and it will show me a notification on an ambient display. So let me show you how that looks like. So let's send myself a message, and what's going to happen is the phone is going to wake up and it's going to show me this ambient display, and it's going to show me the notification I received, and after a couple seconds that display will go back to sleep. Now this is something you can either enable or disable. So let me show you how. So let's go back into the phone. Let's unlock the phone and go into the settings, and all you do is go to display under settings, and at the bottom it says ambient display. You can disable this, and once you disable this, you will not be able to see that little wake up screen that you get when you get a notification. And the other thing I want to talk about in relation to notifications is, let's say somebody sends me a text message or an email. I get the ambient display notification, but as you can see, I also get a pulse light over here. So that pulse light actually keeps pulsing until I check my notification. So to enable the pulse light notification, all you have to do is you have to go into the settings. You have to scroll down to where it says notifications, tap on it, and then tap this settings button. And from here, make sure you enable pulse light notification or pulse notification light. And that's going to keep giving you a little pulse light on the top here until you check your notification, which is a good way to know that you have something pending that you have to look at. And of course, just to add to this, since we're here, over here it says on the lock screen, show all notification content. Now this is probably something that you do want to tap on and switch either to hide sensitive notification content or don't show notifications at all. Because if you have this enabled, even if you have a PIN number and if somebody sends you a text message, that person, any other person, can see what is on your screen even though your screen is locked. So here's my phone. Let's just go to my lock screen. Even though my phone is locked, I can see the content of the message, and it can tell me where the message came from, who it was sent from, and when it was sent. But if I go over here and if I tap this and if I say don't show notifications or just hide sensitive notification content, I can go back out here. Now when I tap it, it doesn't say what happened. It does show me the app and the time. It does not tell me who the message came from or what the content of that message was. So again, this is a nice way to secure your device. Next thing I want to talk about is changing the size of the content in your display. So let's say the fonts on your display and the icons on your display are too small for you to see. What you can do is you can tap on the settings, obviously, and you can scroll down to display, and then you scroll down and it says display size. You can tap this, and from here you can choose the perfect display size that you please. If I press plus, that makes the icons slightly larger, and you even get to preview exactly what you're going to be seeing on your actual screen. So I'm just going to keep this at default, but if you want to actually, you can even go smaller than the default. So if you want to go small or large, it's all up to you. Now the next thing I'm going to talk about is the notifications. Actually, I want to talk about notification management. So what you can do is you can manage the notifications for every single app on your phone. So let's do a quick example. Let's go into the settings. Go into the notifications under settings, and then what's going to happen is you're going to get a list of applications. Let's pick an application we use, all of us use a lot, Gmail. So tap on Gmail, and here you have a couple options. What you can do is you can block all the notifications, or you can show the notifications silently, meaning you will get the notification and you will see it in your notifications panel, but you're not going to get notified by a sound. So it's going to be a silent notification. And again, what you can do is you can individually designate whether or not you want to see the contents of a notification on the lock screen or not. So if I tap this over here, I can actually hide the sensitive notification content, or I can basically not show anything at all on the lock screen when I have a PIN enabled. What I like about these options are they're individually customizable on a per app basis. And with each app that you go into, you will see a settings icon to the right of it. If you tap that, that actually takes you into the settings for that particular app. So clearly you can do a lot from the notifications settings screen as far as your apps go. Now the other screen that's very important is the apps screen. If you tap on the apps screen, what you can do is, let's go back into Gmail over here, tap on it, and from here what you can do is you can see a lot of information. You can see how much storage is being used by that app. You can see the data usage that was used by that app. You can see the permissions, what apps can access the Gmail, and if you tap it, you can enable or disable. Again, this is a nice way to secure your device. And from here, you can also access the notifications panel, the notifications screen, settings screen we just accessed, okay? And then at the bottom here, you can choose the default, what's the battery usage for this app and all that stuff. So again, you can go into the notifications to manage notifications for individual app, or you can go into the apps and you can manage every single aspect of individual app, and you can access notifications right through here, permissions, data usage, and storage. These are some great settings for people that want to know exactly what is going on with their device. So let's move on. Now, as you know, your phone makes a lot of sounds. So what you can do is you can go into the settings, you can actually go into sound, and if you scroll down, you can go to other sounds, and from here you can basically disable or enable every single tone that you hear on your phone. You can disable dial pad tones, screen locking sounds can be disabled, charging sounds can be disabled, touch, vibrate, power, all these sounds can be disabled if you so desire. Just in case you know, if there's any sound that is bothering you that you do not want, just go and disable it. Next thing I want to talk about is the battery settings. There's not much to talk about, but I'm going to take a look at it anyway. So let's scroll down and find the battery. It's right over here. If I tap on it, you'll get a graph over here. The graph shows you the approximate days left before your battery dies based on your current usage. And if you scroll down, you can see which apps or which system tasks are using most of your battery. So as you can see, screen is using 6% of my battery. You can tap this button over here to get a refresh, get an update for right now. And of course, if you tap over here, you can turn on the battery saver mode. What I recommend that you do is tap on turn on automatically and simply pick one of these options. So at 5% or 15% battery life, the battery saver mode is going to get enabled automatically, and it's going to extend your battery life hopefully by a couple hours so you can survive. Next up, let's talk about memory management. So let's go into the settings and scroll down to where it says memory, which is right over here. And if you tap this, you basically get information on your memory, the way your memory is being used. Now, as you know, Pixel has 4 gigs of memory, and currently it is using 1.7 gigabytes of that RAM. Even tells you how much is free. You can tap on this, give you some details on which apps are using your memory. And of course, you can tap this icon over here and you can actually pick, instead of the last 3 hours, you can pick the last 1 day and how memory was utilized in that last 1 day. Again, you tap this and that's the one that gives you a breakdown of individual apps and how they are using your memory. Now, another setting that a lot of people don't look into is the backup and reset settings. So if you go into settings and if you scroll down to backup and reset, if you tap it, there's a couple very important options in here that you have to manage properly. The first one is device backup. Do you want your device backed up to your Google account or not? So if you actually click this, it gives you some nice details. Click it one more time and it tells you exactly what gets backed up. And over here, there's some really important things that do get backed up. So if something happens to your phone, and let's say you change your phone, you get a new phone, you can quickly restore all your settings without having to waste time. Everything happens automatically. So app data, Wi-Fi passwords, and all that stuff gets backed up to your Google account, including your contacts, your messages, and your photos. So make sure if you want your phone backed up that this option is enabled. And over here, you can actually do photos backup. If you tap this, you can pick an account to back up and sync all your photos. And especially for Pixel users, as you know, you have unlimited storage for your photos and your videos at full quality. And finally, obviously, if you want to factory data reset your phone, let's say your phone is not responding, you want to bring it back to factory default settings, it's going to restore your phone to the same condition as if you first bought the device. And of course, for that, it's a good idea to have a device backup. You can do a reset that's going to fix your phone, then you can restore your device from the backup that you created. And the final tip I want to talk about has to do with your fingerprints. So basically, if you go into the settings and if you go into security, you can go into Pixel Imprint, which manages your fingerprints. And if you tap this, it's going to ask you to put your PIN number. And if you go in, it's going to say finger 1. Now I remember using my index finger, my left index finger, to set up my fingerprint. So make sure that if you guys have multiple fingers, that you tap on this and rename these fingerprints properly so you can keep track of which list over here is which finger. So I can just, over here, I can say left eye, L-I, which means left index. And then if I have my thumbs or my other fingers over here, I can have it properly manageable. And that's the end of these tips. Now remember to watch the 10 tips and tricks for the Pixel video to learn even more. Again, the video link is in the description below. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to sakitech and give this video a thumbs up. Have a fantastic day.